Today we are reviewing the brand new 2025 Subaru Forester, which is refreshed for the 2024 year. Is it still the same Subaru that everybody knows and loves? Is it better in any way? Let's find out. All right, so now I'm on the road with the brand new 2025 Subaru Forester Sport Edition. You know, on the outside of this car, I actually really like it. I like the bronze accents it has. This year it actually is refreshed, like I mentioned, and it actually looks pretty good. It is a lot of cosmetic, refreshes. For the wheels, you get 19-inch wheels, and I think it looks really good. It goes really well with the bronze that runs along the running boards and on the front and rear ends. Matches really well, gives a good contrast with the white. I think it pairs up really nice. Moving on to the front, it does look pretty much the same. No changes really there, but it looks like more of an SUV front end instead of like a crossover hatchback front end. So it looks a little bit more masculine, boxy, not bad. Moving on to the rear, it's very typical. However, for this year, they did add a kick sensor for the rear door, so that's nice. You get hands-free entry into it. Can't complain about that. There is a lot of black plastic around the exterior of the car. Like most Subarus, that is pretty typical. Around the wheels, you've got a black plastic fairing. Along the bottom of the side panels, you also have like this hexagonal black and bronze piece. It gives the car character. I think that's really all that it's there for, but I like it. It doesn't look bad. A little less plastic I could always do with, but it is a $35,000 car, so can't complain too much about that, really. Moving on to the interior, it does get a little bit more interesting, and you see a little bit more changes than you did in the prior years. You get this nice bronze again colors running all over the place, whether it be stitching, whether it be trim panels or whatever. There's a lot of that. However, instead of it being the typical hard plastic, it's actually a really soft plastic. Like when you touch a lot of it, it's got some give to it. Not bad. One thing that's definitely changed for the 2025 year is the interior space. This feels a lot bigger than it actually looks. There's a lot of headroom. The second row also has a lot more space than the prior models, and yeah, it's just a little bit more roomier. You'll even notice that Steve, we always like to shove Steve places he doesn't belong, and he actually fits pretty well in the back seat for being 7'4". So, that's a good news for the tall guys out there. In the front, though, it is very typical. You've got your side mirror controls on the left-hand door handle, and then you've got your trunk button, a dimmer switch for your gauge cluster, all very standard stuff. Now, the 2025 Subaru Forester Sport Edition does have some changes that prior years did not have. When you get to the steering wheel, you actually have a 7-speed manual transmission shifter paddles on the steering wheel. Not that you're really ever going to use them in this, but hey, it's fun to have. If you get a little bored and you want to add some excitement to your drive, it's there for you. The steering wheel itself does have the bronze stitching all around it, and also a little bronze area. It gives a little bit of contrast, some pop. Other than that, the buttons are a little bit cluttered. There's a lot of them, and in a small space, they're not very spread out or large, because the steering wheel actually does feel smaller than you would expect. And it's pretty thin, too. I'm not a big fan of how thin it is. I like them a little bit thicker, Give me the fat wheel. You do have an analog gauge cluster, though, with a center small, like black and white screen for typical information such as temperature and things like that, your speed, miles, trip meter, everything like that. Now, moving on into the center, you do have a 11.3-inch touchscreen infotainment center. Now, the base model does not, but the sport model, everything higher than the base model actually does. So that's nice. It's pretty much standard. However, it is the infotainment center that I personally just do not like. But it's not all that bad, I guess, at the end of the day. But really, they could do better. It could be better. It could be more responsive. The climate controls are, once again, built into the infotainment center, and it's just not great. They should really be physical. I think so anyways. Now in the sport model though, you do only have heated seats, no ventilated seats, but you do get dual climate control, so that's nice. You do get a USB Type A and a USB Type C below the infotainment center, so as well as an aux jack. So, you've got everything you need there, as well as a wireless charging pad. So you've got, I guess, 2 USB ports for your passenger and 1 wireless pad for yourself. Now, if you look in front of Steve, you actually get a nice textured, dash, and it actually looks good. It feels nice, it looks nice. The whole time I'm driving, Steve's over there rubbing it, so I know there's got to be something good about it. Now, in this Subaru Forester, you do not get a heads-up display, which is fine, not the end of the world. However, you do get a 3/4 panoramic sunroof. It goes about halfway through the center row. So that's nice. I personally really like it. It really opens things up. I love the natural light, so I'm big on that. I love any car with a sunroof. It's like a must-have for me. As far as the drive itself, it feels fine. It's sluggish, but again, for a crossover, do you need it to be a race car? The steering is really tight. There's not a lot of play. It's pretty quiet. Subaru actually put in a lot of work to try to get the cabin noise way down. And so far, it's I think we have 40-mile-an-hour winds today, and I can hear it, but only when I'm going, 55, 60 miles an hour to really battle with those winds. Now, when it comes to the transmission and engine, I'm going to go ahead and let Steve dive more into that, since he is the resident guru.
For the powertrain option, they only offer one powertrain option, which is a 2.5-liter box engine, and it gives you 180 horsepower and 178 foot-pound of torque. And the mileage actually is acceptable. It's 26 in the city and 33 on the highway. However, I'm a little bit disappointed to the horsepower. It's actually 2 horsepower less than last generation, and then 2 more foot-pound of torque more than before, So it's not much of change. And then 0 to 60 is 8.7. In my opinion, it's kind of slow, but if you compare to the competitor, which is the Honda CR-V and the Toyota RAV4, it's not much of the difference. And then for the transmission, Subaru chose to use CVT again across all trim. As far as I know, for the engine option, in the future, I believe they were gonna have a hybrid model offered to the public.
Yeah, so really, ultimately, if you're looking for a little more power, because, this Forester is very sluggish, it doesn't feel fast by any means. You would want to look more towards probably that Honda CR-V or maybe even the Mazda CX-50. I believe the Mazda CX this year is also turbocharged, so you'll get a little bit more horses in there.
Yeah. One thing I don't really like Subaru been doing is just they keep their technology really outdated. My stepmom have 2018 Subaru Forester premium model. As the car for this 2025 model is pretty much the same. In my opinion, the panoramic sunroof, the smell is about the same, and then the horsepower is about the same. I believe it's the same engine size too, 2.5 liter.
Yeah.
So it has been 2018 to now, it's been 5 years, and it's not much change. And if I'm the owner of 2018, I want to upgrade my Subaru and I want to get another Subaru or another Forester, and you spend 28,000, 32, and it's not much difference. You probably will feel like you're driving your old car again. So that is the thing that I really don't like about Subaru right now. It's not designing or any innovation, at all,
Yeah, I'm not sure. One of the main changes this year was an electronic power steering rack, and I'm really not sure that would be enough to make me upgrade to basically the same car from 5 years ago. In other things, sure, it's fine. You've got all the safety features that maybe you didn't have before, so that's nice. But in terms of actual upgrades that we care about, whether it be the engine or transmission. You know, you're still got a CVT transmission. You've got less horsepower. The cost goes up. I mean, really,
It smells the same.
It smells the same. I mean,
Well,
proud of your mom for being able to keep it smelling the same after 5 years.
No, I don't think she would like it.
You know, and actually, in terms of comfortability, though, I've got to give it to them. This is actually a pretty comfortable seat, especially because you're not like whipping around any corners or anything like that in the Forester.
I'm 7'5". It's pretty comfortable, like you said.
Yeah. So,
Well, there's some good side is they keep it simple, so you don't have to deal with like technology failure, you know.
yeah.
And you don't have to spend too much money to repair. And then the parts, I would say, pretty much interchangeable, especially the mechanical stuff.
Yeah. Well, and also, you know, the Forester is always like renowned for their reliability too. I know older Foresters run up to like 300, 400,000 miles. So if you're looking for a reliable car, this could be a good one.
Yep, and as long as you keep the maintenance, right?
Yes.
It's not like, oh, I'm listening to Josh and push this car and drive like 100,000 miles without oil change. That would be definitely is not a good idea, right?
No, that's probably not a good idea. I wouldn't recommend that. So in conclusion, what do we think of this 2025 Subaru Forester Sport? You know, for an affordable subcompact SUV or crossover, I think it's fine. The gas mileage is actually pretty good. There's a lot of space in here, so if you're gonna be hauling people around or hauling maybe your animals around or going to the park or, you know, going camping or something like that, I could see it being pretty practical if you're on a little bit more of a budget. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you, especially as all four-wheel drive, you know. The four-wheel drive system is awesome, you know. Even though in Chicago we have like crazy snow during the winter, you don't have to shovel it. You just go right over the snow.
That's also not a suggestion. You should shovel your driveway. But no, I do agree. The all-wheel drive is just an amazing thing.
You would never get stuck. Well, this is not bad, I think, right?
Yeah, not bad
For
at
the
all.
price, yeah. But I really wish Subaru would start upgrading the feature.
Yeah. You know, they think that this infotainment center is like one of the best in class, and honestly, I just don't see it. It's my least favorite infotainment center on the market. So there you have it. This is the brand new 2025 Subaru Forester. Let us know in the comments what you think of it, and would love to hear your thoughts. Is this something that you would buy? Do you think that they really made good changes to the 2025 Forester? Or would you just hold on to your old one like Steve's mom? Let us know in the comments, smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you the next one.